Hello students, welcome to La Excellence IAS Kalam program, a GS Mains Answer Writing Initiative, Season 2, Episode 34. I am Kiranmayi and we will be continuing this season for about 50 episodes. Let us look at today's question. The question says, examine the role of Food Corporation of India in managing India's food security in the time of distress. This question is for 10 marks and we have to write the answer in 150 words. The question is from General Studies paper 2 and from the topic of non-constitutional bodies, because Food Corporation of India is a statutory body which was formed in 1965. If we look at the context in which this question is being asked, you all are aware that COVID-19 has resulted in a lockdown for more than 30 days now, and people in the unorganized sector have lost their livelihoods. So as to prevent hunger deaths, the responsibility of Food Corporation of India has increased enormously. Lot of discussions are happening about the buffer stock that is available with FCI. The food security activists are demanding release of excess stock which is available with the FCI to states at free cost. Okay, they are wanting it to be released free of cost. And government also has called for additional allocations under public distribution system under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Each person should be getting additional 5 kilos of food grains. Normally, the Food Corporation of India functions so as to procure the food grains, to maintain buffer stock, as well as its redistribution function. This question is asking about the role of Food Corporation of India in maintaining food security, especially in the time of distress. If we look at some of the value addition points that can be written in this answer, first and foremost, a brief history of Food Corporation of India and its mandate. Rather than a value addition, it will be a prerequisite required to answer this question. So, a brief history of FCI and its mandate. Next, something about National Food Security Act of 2013, which made food security a right-based approach from a welfare-based approach. It calls for provision of food grains to almost 2/3 of India's population, 75% of people in rural areas and 50% of people in urban areas are covered under National Food Security Act. So, something about National Food Security Act could be a value addition. And then any of the committee's recommendations. For example, a high-powered committee under Mr. Shanta Kumar for restructuring of FCI has been formed. The committee's recommendations could be written in a conclusion as a way forward. Also, on food security, there has been Supreme Court judgment which said that right to food forms an intrinsic part of right to life under Article 21. In a case known as PUCL versus Union of India case, that is People's Union for Civil Liberties versus Union of India case. So, such judgment can also be written in value addition. So, these value addition points will only be written either in the introduction or conclusion or as an additional point in the core of the answer, but they do not form the core of our answer. If we now look at what is to be avoided while writing this answer, this question demands a lot of balance. It is asking about the role of Food Corporation of India in food security, that too in times of distress. If you observe, there are two things. It is asking about food security not in normal times. It is asking about it in the times of distress. That is the first thing. Second thing is it is asking about all distress, not just about COVID-19. So, these two things have to be kept in mind while writing the answer. That is, you should not narrow down to COVID-19 alone, or you shouldn't broaden the scope of the answer to beyond food security also. So, these two things should be kept in mind and we have to try to avoid these two things in this answer. Let us now look at how to write the answer in the introduction, body and conclusion format. Coming to introduction, according to me, introduction can be written in two forms. One is about Food Corporation of India, the brief history and its mandate, how it ensures food security in normal times, could be written in the introduction. Okay. The second way of writing the introduction is what do we understand by food security, how FCI helps in ensuring food security. So in first format we will be writing about FCI and then how it ensures food security. In the second format we will write about food security and how FCI plays a role in maintaining food security or ensuring food security. So that will be our introduction. Coming to the body part, we have to write about the role in ensuring food security in the time of distress. So the distress could be either because of lack of food available or because of high price of food. One thing is lack of food available as we are facing now. In that case, the distribution of the buffer stocks comes in question. Okay, so we can write about the redistribution of the buffer stocks that is available with FCI. And then about food inflation, when the food prices are too high that people are not able to buy them, food inflation could be controlled by releasing whatever the buffer stocks are present with FCI. So this is the role of FCI in distress times to ensure food security. This has to be elaborated in the body part. Coming to the conclusion, we can write about the importance of food security and how FCI plays an important role in ensuring food security, or we can also write about what are the major issues with FCI and what are the recommendations so as to solve these issues as a conclusion, giving it an optimistic tone. Let us now look at a sample answer. So this person writes, National Food Security Act 2013 commits for food security of up to 75% of rural population and up to 50% of urban population of the country by providing highly subsidized food grains. So here he is talking about the food security NFSA. It was one of the value addition points which we have discussed. So he is introducing using that statement. What does he write further? Food security. He is writing about what is meant by food security. Food security is a system to ensure availability, accessibility, affordability and stability of food grains supply to prevent hunger. So food grain has to be available. Even if it is available, it should be accessed by all the people. It should not be costly, affordability. That is why they are being given at highly subsidized price. And stability is ensuring continuous supply. There should not be any break. So food security means making it available, accessible, affordable and ensuring stable supply of food grains to prevent hunger. He is then writing, due to COVID-19 related lockdown, there is a threat of hunger deaths due to loss of livelihoods. This is what is being debated day in and day out in the newspapers as well as in the news channels. Food Corporation of India is having an important role in ensuring food security to all people of the country, extending beyond NFSA. So now is the time to extend beyond National Food Security Act. Many people who are not covered under National Food Security Act are also suffering or also at the risk of hunger. So it is necessary to extend it beyond NFSA, and that is what he is writing here. He is trying to write a linking statement here about the role of FCI. It was established as a statutory body in 1965 following FCI Act of 1964 to address the shortages of food grains in the country. We had famine during this period, and as a result this Food Corporation of India was established to address the shortages in the food grains. What does he write further? So if we see here, he is talking about, in the first page, he is talking about what is food security, what is National Food Security Act, what is the role of Food Corporation of India in ensuring food security. He hasn't yet come to the core of the answer. So what does he write further? Here he is writing about role of FCI during the times of distress. So what is he writing here? First point is buffer stocks. FCI maintains these for any unanticipated distress which are redistributed in crisis times to various states as per the state's needs. He's given few examples here. The additional food grain distribution of 5 kg per person under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana is from the buffer stocks. Also, food grains are being supplied to people not covered under NFSA. So in the first point, he is talking about the buffer stocks that are available with FCI, which can be used under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana or beyond NFSA. Then he is telling second point about price support. Assured support system to farmers fearing distress sale following bumper harvest. What does this mean? See, the cost of any food item or any item per se is based on market supply and demand. Okay, if there is high supply, if the supply is very high, the cost comes down a lot. Okay, so in this case where there is a bumper harvest, because of high supply, the cost falls down. In that case, by MSP, government purchases these food grains so that farmers will not have to sell their produce in distress. Okay, so it is giving price support. But is it solving the problem of food security as demanded by the question? I don't think it is directly going to solve the food security problem. But yes, by preventing distress sale by the farmers, it can assure a price support to the farmers, and as a result it can support the economy for the farmer, and as a result it can ensure some sort of food security. Let us see the next point. He is writing about quality control. By quality control division of FCI to ensure absorption component of food security. Food security has an absorption component, which means that the food grains that are being supplied to people should be absorbable and should provide for sufficient nutrition, sufficient proteins, carbohydrates and fats. Okay, so by ensuring the quality control, Food Corporation of India aids in food security. He further writes, FCI has a major role to ensure food security in distress times. It is facing some issues like procurement issues, shortage of storage spaces, etc. Solution to these issues by decentralizing procurement by the states. Okay, outsourcing stocking operations. So the stocks could be outsourced, stocking operations could be outsourced, etc. should be hastened as suggested by Shantakumar committee. So this is the conclusion he is writing it here. I think it is just an average conclusion, though it is trying to be dense. It is telling about Shantakumar committee recommendations. Also it is telling about the issues faced by FCI. I think it could have been more better and more optimistic. If we analyze the entire answer, the entire first page of the answer went in describing about food security, National Food Security Act, and the role of FCI in normal times. Okay, and the core of the answer was answered in 3 subheads saying buffer stocks, price support and quality control. I felt this could have been much better, and even the conclusion seems to be an average answer. Overall it is an average answer, but there are some good value addition points like Shantakumar committee's recommendations, National Food Security Act, etc. But it could have been more relevant and more structured. Okay, let us all come to the end of our discussion. Before coming to the end, let me give you a task for today. Study about Food Corporation of India, the problems associated with it, the Shantakumar committee recommendations for restructuring of FCI, and make a short note of it so that it will be useful during your mains preparation. Let us all meet again tomorrow. Thank you.